Hi, welcome to Lawrence City Council Mark Laplante Reports. I'm your host, Mark Laplante. Our first episode today deals with a family development charter school located on West Street and Haverhill Street here in Lawrence. I'll be interviewing Superintendent Ralph Carrero.
Well, we run a K-8 charter school, servicing children from 4 years old all the way through 8th grade. We've been here for approximately 17 years now. Back in 2010, we submitted for an expansion for 200 more students, and in the next 10 years, we'll be growing our student population to 800 students. So we have one of the bigger charter schools in the state of Massachusetts, K-8. Our buildings comprise of West Street, our newest complex, which is our upper school complex on Haverhill Street, the old St. Anne's building. And in this fall, we'll be moving back to where we used to be on Railroad Street, which is the Hafner-Fournier building over behind the gas station. Charter schools are public schools, but they're independent charter schools, independent public schools. It has its own board of directors. What's unique about our board of directors is that by law, the charter itself, parents that have children in the school also serve on the board. Actually, the majority of our board members are parents. So anytime any type of policy decision is being made, guess what? It's affecting children of people that are taking votes on those decisions. So we really have to delve into real deeply how it's going to have a positive impact on the conditions for kids, the conditions for teachers. Obviously, as a charter school also, we are not bound by union rules and negotiations. So we're able to move at a much more rapid pace, if you will, and not have to negotiate contracts. That doesn't mean that our teachers aren't treated as a professional, but it does mean that we can move and we can be innovative in the things that we have to do and not wait till it's negotiated through unions.
Now, why are parents choosing your school?
You know, parents have an opportunity to go to a whole different array of schools. They obviously choose our school because of the uniqueness of our school and what we offer. Our school offers a dual language program, which means that by the time a child comes in at 4 years old, he or she is required to read, write, and speak in both languages. At their 8th grade presentations, they have to present both in English and Spanish, and they have to demonstrate an ability to read and write in both languages. I think that that's a wonderful opportunity, considering that we're in a global economy now. That was one of the reasons why many parents were attracted to our school. Most recently, and obviously, is the type of test scores that we produce. We produce some of the best test scores in the city, and I would submit that we produce some of the best test scores according to MCAS in the state of Massachusetts, in spite of the fact that many people think that kids in Lawrence can't learn. I think that if you offer children a quality education, they're going to learn. I think if you offer parents an opportunity to be engaged in schools, they're going to come. We, for the last 5 years, have had 100% parent-student teacher conferences. 100% of all the 425 families that we serve. And our students, when they graduate from the 8th grade, this last graduating class, over 60% of them went to private, independent, or tuition-based schools, whether it be Catholic, whether they be public schools, and whether they're in the state of Massachusetts or in the state of Maine. Our kids are being attracted and being sought after by every New England state, including New York. I do predict that this year we will probably send kids. Actually, I shouldn't say that because I already know. We've already had one of our students accepted to a private school in Florida. So our kids, when they go to high school campuses, they go academically prepared, but they also go culturally prepared, and they go prepared to be able to provide an experience that hopefully will enhance the student body at any campus that they go to.
How do you envision this school maybe 5 years from now?
I think that the school will continue to grow. I don't see it growing any more than the 800 students that we have. Unfortunately, for the city of Lawrence, that's 6.6 square miles. We're landlocked, so it's tough to try to develop a campus where it has some nice outdoor fields or what have you. I hope that in the future, if the opportunity presents itself to expand and perhaps submit for another charter.
This next episode features Lawrence High School boys basketball. Here I'm interviewing head coach Paul Neal. who actually took the Lancers to the state finals last year at the Fleet Center. Also included will be an interview with 3 of his young stars.
No, I went to the Voc, and then I went to Merrimack College, played ball at Merrimack, and but I've been in Lawrence and at Lawrence High School for about going on 14 years.
When did you graduate from Merrimack?
1991.
You played ball there?
Yeah. Played ball in the Hall of Fame at Merrimack, and so one of my passion is really Lawrence, because I'm an immigrant from Jamaica, and I came here, and basketball opened up a lot of doors for me and a lot of opportunities, and I'm hoping to give the same back and hopefully to make Lawrence better. I mean, I'm passionate about really making Lawrence a better place. Well, we've had some success. We've won the conference several times, been to the Fleet Center 2 times. But it all comes down to kids, and that's what we try to do with basketball. Really for me, it's not about basketball. It's about teaching them the game of life. We have an opportunity to work with some young kids who we can get them hooked because they love basketball, and trying to get them to do all the other stuff. Been around for a while. When I took the job, the team struggled a lot. I used to hear a lot that they can't do this and they can't do that, and they're never going to win. And it was a challenge for me, and I believe they could. And with the help of a lot of people, and I think that's what most people don't realize is all the people that's involved with the program and trying to make it work. For instance, and when I started work here, we realized that academic was a problem. So we instituted study hours. But when you did that, now you have study hours from 3:30 to 5 o'clock, and then you have a 6 o'clock practice. These kids are here all day. So we worked on getting food. We started with having parents cooking, providing the food, to now where we're raising money, buying the food 3 days a week. We're getting food from Burton's restaurant the other 2 days, and it's also, it make the kids feel special because it's Burton's, and that's where people with some money would go to, and they look forward to things like that.
What we do is we have study hours before practice, and it's about an hour and a half, and it gives us time to do our homework and stuff. So that also helps us stay on track with school, and then we have practice right after, so it helps us develop our game as well.
I think people don't notice how much the little thing that coach does for us. I mean, I'm pretty sure you've heard that coach feeds us every day before practice. Every day he gives us a full meal. And coach is just the little things. Like, we are always in these summer programs and playing basketball. So I think coach is that guy. I mean, he's a guy that you can look up to if you want to look back. And now I think down the road if I become a business owner or something, I would love to give back just time, if money, if I could, if it's good. Like,
I think hard work is what I believe is the great equalizer. If you're not as talented, and but if you put in the time and you're committed to something and you're hard work, and you learn what your strengths are, and you learn to capitalize on those, and you learn to depend on your teammates' strengths, and you learn to defend the areas that they're weak and support each other. And I think that is the game of life. I think if you learn to work with other people, and you can use your strengths in the classrooms and get help when you need help. And I think I try to teach basketball based on what I think is going to be helpful for them to be successful in life.
And so my last question is regarding about these guys that are playing ball for you. What is your hopes or aspirations for them when they complete the program with you?
I'd like to see them to go on to school, or, and being able to be successful and come back and give something back, because I think that's a real definition of success. When you're able to go out and achieve and do some of the things you set out to do, and then you're also willing to come back and give back to the community and the people around you, and building a family. We see basketball as being a family. When we play, we lose together, we win together. I love seeing the older guys coming back and talking about their experiences, what they've seen out there in colleges, and how different it is, and sharing those experiences with the newer guys.
I would love to come back and help all the younger guys, because in the summer he does this program called Smart Hoops for all the people that are in middle school, and it's a good program for them, and it's good for veterans who played for Coach Neal to come back and show them how you got to be committed to play, how you got to take it serious, all jokes aside when it comes basketball season, and just show them that you really want to be here.
I think playing here at Lawrence High, what stands out the best to me is the commitment level of how serious you have to be a member of this team, and it's not a team, it's a family here playing. It's I just like the competitiveness and how everything is taken serious here. I just like the competitiveness, how serious it gets here.
No, I missed it.
applying. I've been applying, and I've got accepted for a few schools and play basketball if I could.
I want to become a businessman, and I want to own my own store.
I have to do a year community college so I could get my GPA up, and then I'll most likely be playing at Merrimack or Anna Marina College.
Hi, this last episode features UMass Lowell professor Robert Forrant. Professor Forrant talks to us about what is happening with the 100th year anniversary of the Bread and Roses strike and what impacts this strike has had on the city of Lawrence today.
The strike is significant because at the time it's the first occasion in American labor history where so many different immigrant groups as well as women workers somehow figure out a way to get around all their differences, get together, and essentially withstand 65 days of being on strike in the middle of a New England winter. They do something which most people didn't think would be possible. The mill owners in Lawrence in 1912 believed that when the walkout started on a Thursday and Friday, January 11 and 12, that by Monday morning everybody would be back to work, that whatever unity they had would evaporate over the weekend and that they would stick together. So it's significant, important. It becomes an object lesson for other organizing going on in America at this point in time. In terms of thinking about going forward, the strike puts the question of safe work, of living wages, of child labor in front of most people when they read their newspaper every day throughout the 65 days. When you had to intentionally avoid reading about what was happening in Lawrence because every major newspaper sent reporters, every global newspaper sent reporters. There were reporters here from London, from Frankfurt, Germany, from Rome. Because there were so many immigrant groups, everybody sent somebody to cover what was happening to their people. And again, this was a common newspaper front page story in the Washington papers, the New York papers, the Boston papers. And so it laid bare this problem of rapid industrialization, which America had gone through after the Civil War, and that rapid industrialization had essentially been unregulated. There were no minimum wages. There were child labor laws in some states, but they weren't enforced in any meaningful way. And health and safety was another big issue in a place like Lawrence. The day before the strike started, I was reading the newspapers. There was a young boy, 14 years old, in one of the mill buildings, got his leg crushed in an elevator and died just the day before the strike started. But if you read the Lawrence newspapers before and after the strike, it's not an unusual occurrence to see an accident. So as a result of this strike and other strikes, not just this one, but other strikes, we go into an era of reform in industry. We begin to have health and safety laws. We begin the sort of march toward the mid-1930s when we have minimum wage laws. We have laws regarding how people will be paid when they work overtime. And so this is really a catalyst for lots of significant change further down the road. See, I'm a history teacher, and so I hope you can learn from history. But I think that working people in Lawrence in 1912 were going through a difficult period as well. The wages were not that great. Infant mortality was incredibly high. Lots of kids didn't get through what we would think of today as middle school. They were working at age 12 and 13 in the mills. And so lots of challenges, though they're different, in some ways have similar aspects to them in terms of education, so that you can get a better life, in terms of being able to have a living wage. So a lot of the issues are the same. What the strike does show is that if there's a way to coalesce, if there's a way to create some sort of a really broad-based common agenda, you can actually influence change and you can make change. And so I think one of the lessons the strike offers for Lawrence 100 years later is that it's possible for things to be better, it's possible for things to get better, and it is indeed possible for people to overcome what seem to be these really profound differences, which in the end really aren't.
Thank you so much for watching Lawrence City Councilor Mark Laplante Reports. Please catch us on YouTube and also feel free to catch us on Comcast 8 at 7:30 p.m. every Friday night and Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Thanks.